WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace.
I thought we'd finish there. Palace 0, Bournemouth 0. We haven't conceded 5 goals, David Tristan.
Clean sheet,
what do you make of that game?
Well, I feel like I've just woken up after watching that. I mean, my God, it's one of the worst games I've probably seen at Selhurst for like a year and a half. I mean, it's poor. It wasn't from us, but I'll just talk about the ref. Was it all about him? It was like, I don't know who he was. He was a new ref. I've never heard or seen him before. But
no, he's the one that blew the whistle for Eze's free kick earlier in the season.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, was it him at Brentford? Oh, yeah, you can see why I'm surprised he's allowed to ref again after that horrific performance. Some of the worst refereeing I've seen this season, to be fair. I just think, some of the decision making was inconsistent, and he killed the game, sending Richards off right at half time. I mean, it was a sort of a silly-ish foul from Richard. I ain't seen the replay. Apparently, the first yellow card he got wasn't a yellow, and the second one wasn't either. So we'll wait and see on the highlights when we're last on match of the day. But
I think the issue what we've had, if Richards getting sent, that's fine, fair enough. But surely Scott's got to be sent off as well. He's done the exact same thing.
Well, I think it was Scott and was it Tyler Adams, number 12. He should have been off the pitch as well. One of our players do it, they're off the pitch straight away. One of them do it for the opposition, aka AFC Bournemouth. They're still on the pitch. Doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not going to moan and groan about it because we were rubbish anyway in the first half before that red card. And Bournemouth were just very naive. I mean, I thought Bournemouth were awful. I credit their supporters. They made a lot of noise because usually they're pretty rubbish, but they made quite a bit of noise in their way. But I thought overall, if that Bournemouth side is going for Champions League football, Europa League, Conference League, they're not going to get it with that team because that was one of the worst sides that I've seen perform at Selhurst Park this season. Not the worst, but one of the worst. They lack conviction, and I think we played a lot better and defended better when we were down to 10 men than when it was 11 v 11.
Let's talk about this. What's going on? Like, we go down to 10 men and we actually defend so much better.
We've been down to 9 men before. Remember a few weeks back against Brighton and we held on. So when we were down to 10 men, I was a bit sort of worried, but at the same time, I'm like, look, if we could hold on with 9 men, we could definitely do it with 10. Because Bournemouth were just passing the ball, crossing the ball in the box, keeper would catch it, taking shots for fun. It was going down the south coast back to bloody Southampton and Bournemouth way. Do you know what I mean? On the M3, flipping hell. But no, I mean, it was just, it was very telegraph for Bournemouth. All we had to do was just keep our shape, hold our line, and that was it. One of the most boringest games of football. The only highlight probably was the red card, unfortunately, for Chris Richards. Good thing is we got a game in a week at Arsenal, so he's lucky because if that Arsenal game weren't happening, he'd be missing the semi-final, so he's fortunate. But
let's quickly talk about obviously the substitutions that we made. Obviously it was initially Eddie Nketiah and Daichi Kamada, and then later on Justin Devaney. But for me personally, I think Daichi played very well when he came.
I thought he played well. There were some times of his end product he was a bit sort of slow, giving the ball away a couple of times. Like there was a period towards the end of the game, all we had to do was a simple pass because we were sort of trying to hit Bournemouth on the attack. I think it was the last minute and a half, and he sort of gives the ball away, and Bournemouth nearly go down. Well, they don't nearly go down the other end of the score, but they run down towards the goal and piss around with it, etc. But he's getting better. He lets himself down within the final third. He still has to improve on the basics within his game of play. I thought Nketiah when he came on, he was making the runs, but he didn't have much good quality attacking players. I think Sarr went off. Munoz had to defend obviously and that as well, so he had to do his job there. But he did all right, but he didn't have the players around him. But at least he didn't get sent off. At least he lasted, over 10 minutes this time. Thank God for that. But, Devaney did a good job when he came on. Who came on? Lerma, brilliant. Plays like a centre-half and stuck in his position, stuck in his shape and his stride, and, did the best job he could do for, because...
Difficult question. Man in the match.
Who do I give it to? Yeah, that's a shout. No, joking. I mean, the referee was horrific, obviously, but if anyone deserves man of the match, I've got to give it to Will Hughes because I thought he was excellent, covering the ground, looked like he was back to his old self, looked fully fit. I think, did he play the whole match? I think he did, didn't he? He played 90 minutes, which is a first for a while. I can't remember the last time he played 90 minutes, but he did a good job. He did get booked, unfortunately, but that's Hughes for you. You're never going to go a game without Hughes, without him getting a yellow card. But yeah, I mean, I think you just got to look at the positives. Like, we could have lost that game and crumbled, but we didn't. We stayed together as a team. We kept a clean sheet after shipping 10 goals in 2 games in less than a week. At least we didn't concede 5 goals, like you were saying, in this match. We kept a clean sheet, 0-0. It's the best we could ask for, especially going into that Arsenal game next week, where I think Glasgow's got to rotate, and our trip to Wembley, which is in a week's time, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be a cracking day. So we just got to look forward to that. The league's done. I couldn't care less about it anymore, unless we start picking up after Wembley, depending on what happens. But I don't want to go on for too long, but that Wembley game is going to define our season. Obviously, it's important we A, get to the final and B, win the FA Cup, and I believe we can. You know my thoughts, you know my opinion. I know it's not been the best form-wise with one win in the last 5 or 6, but just got to believe, man. Got to believe, and yeah, you know, we've just got to focus on that. We can't afford to lose that. We've got to be on our game for next week against Villa. So up the Palace, man.
Tristan, up the Palace.
Eagles, love them.